Hello, everybody. This is Edgar Eddie Fernandez, the, uh, the, s- the founder of Sufficient Limited and the creator of the Experiential Knowledge Solutions. So, something that I want to talk today it's the third and the fourth practice for any agile organization is sensing and sizing the opportunities and flexible resources allocation. So in other videos, in my past videos, I'm been talking and actually reinforcing the idea how important it is to involve people and optimize and understanding their ideas in order to reduce injuries and incidents. Um, but today, something that I want to focus on is on the flexible resource allocation. So they say, for example, a quick systematic process is in place to regularly evaluate the progress of business initiatives and decide whether to ramp them up or shut them down. Well, um, optimizing and understanding their ideas or creating the near miss culture is it's a good place actually to start. And also you have the JSAs that I made a video last week. So how you can use these your safety programs to reduce incidents. Obviously, you have something. I imagine that you collect, you do hazard identification process, right? So you perform hazard identification and risk assessments as well. This is a good tool. So also you have software. Maybe not all the companies, but most of the companies, they have a software to collect all these reports. So this is the key thing to start reducing injuries and incidents. Don't start putting a quota of how many reports do you need a month because you won't get quality. It's something that we are looking for is quality, good reporting to prevent incidents and injuries. So once you have a near miss and a hazard report, so that report you need to go and talk to the person or the people or the team that are reporting that hazard and start coming with ideas on brainstorm on potential scenarios that it can develop from that. From there, obviously, you're gonna provide action items to prevent that type of scenario. And then obviously you enter all the investigation. It's not all the ideas and all the investigations as well, and action items to pretty much reduce the that hazard to reduce that hazard, right? Once you do that, also you can do, and actually you should do an a KPIs. You need to create a KPIs. But this is the thing. The KPIs shouldn't be sorry, like I said, how many reports you should have a month. Is how many in percentage, how many of those reports you are attending and closing, and how many action items you are implementing from those reports. That's the way to do it, and that's the way to allocate resources. And you're gonna see if the programs are working or not. That's the way to see if you're gonna keep supporting that program or really you need to shut that program down. And then from there, once you start actually talking to people, once you start doing the quick investigation or an extensive investigation depending on the hazard report. I'm not talking about near miss report and incident reports. This is a hazard report, something that people report if they consider a hazard, right? So now from there, you go and talk to them, do your investigation or the procedure that you have for the reports. You should have a procedure to how you're gonna answer those reports, and how you're gonna, and then once you do that, you're gonna provide um, action items to make that hazard to a hazard, a residual risk. In other words, you're gonna analyze potential scenarios that they can cause injuries and incidents, and try to avoid them. Perfect. Once you have that KPI, you said, okay, if they report 5, you have 5 hazard reports in a month, you should talk to them 5 times. You should talk to them and put the comments and close those reports and attend those reports. So that's KPI. That's one KPI. So how fast you're gonna attend that report, or you're gonna solve, or you're gonna answer that report. And then you need to have another KPI of how many action items from hazard reports you are closing, you are opening, you are in progress, and how many are being closed. Once you have that KPI, so you say, if 5 reports, I was able to close 3. Okay, KPIs, incident report, hazard reports, 3 closed. 2 of them they are in progress, and 2 of them they have, each one of those they have 5 action items. So 3 of them there are 15 action items in progress. And how many you have closed? Would say another 5. So you have closed 5, so you have 10 open, right? Once the people are start seeing that you are attending actually, you are resolving you are resolving the problems. You are answering the hazard report. Your number of hazard reports are going to increase. It's not going to be a KPI. So you can track that as well. You should actually, but I don't recommend as a KPI. I would say as a trend, because this increase of reporting is coming from conversations, hazard risk assessments, your safety analysis, extensive investigations, depending of the hazard, and action items. So in other words, your people start getting confident on the safety program. One of the things that the safety programs, one of the things that we can, one of the reasons why we cannot reduce injuries and incidents, and I'm saying that I'm basing on the stats on the north of Canada and the U.S. on how many incidents we have per year, how many lost time incidents we have, how many lost time, how many recordable incidents rates it is, how many fatalities we have, and as you can see, it's too high. In 2016, I think it was 87 fatalities in all Canada, for example, and was the same number in the United States, very similar, right? So that's too much. And more than 3,000 recordable incidents, and lost time incidents around 1,000. So I'm basing on the stats. So once we have this strategy, right, you do that. So your incident, your hazard identification and your hazard reports that is considered hazard identification they are going to increase. Therefore, you're going to be able to allocate resources. You're going to be able to have a budget for safety to do that. Remember, there are 2 ways. Actually, we need to see the safety management programs in 2 ways. One component of core is hazard identification. So, and a core auditor is going to ask you, and he's going to ask you to demonstrate that you have a hazard identification program, how you measure that, how you reduced, how you prevent injuries and incidents through that program. There is a very extensive component on core, and one of the heaviest, to say. It's one of the heaviest components. That one, incident investigations, and the third one is the hazard prevention as well. The hazard identification, how you allocate that through engineering, administration, and PPE. So once you have that, you're going to be very successful and allocate resources and reduce injuries. The safety programs, actually, you should divide it in 2. One is safety management, right? And on this one, the strategies to reduce injuries and illnesses. Because if you see these injuries and illnesses when that happen, go to the 10 most common causes of incidents in the industry, or many of various industries. So actually, the industries they have more incidents, more, or I would say no more incidents. Put it in this way, sorry. They have the highest recordable incident rates and the lost time incident rates is the manufacturing and the construction as well. That's the two of them, and retails. So once you have that, so sorry. So once you check those 10 most common causes for injuries and incidents, you would say that these 10 that top 10 ranking has changed since 2001. So why is that? So supposedly an ISO 45001 and a core and all those type of safety management programs and compliance, you should reduce the injuries, but they haven't. It's because we are stopping in that way. We don't have a strategy to reduce injuries. We have a strategy, maybe a strategy to be in compliance. I have my procedure for confined spaces done, checked, and then they follow the procedure. That's perfect. So obviously on those major cases, you are covered already. Working at highs, isolation of hazardous energies, machine guarding, you have industrial hygiene program, etc. That's something you should do, obviously. But still, we are having those problems. So you need to have the hazard identification and risk assessments. There is hazard identification and hazard and risk assessments. They are very key component that we need to take to the next level to have that data. There are two things that we need to consider doing those, because you have those already. But one of the things two things that we don't do with those two programs, or with that program, hazard identification and hazard and risk assessments. We put them on the file, and we don't analyze data. We don't use that data in the future to allocate resources and to prevent injuries. And second, you use it to build relationships with the workers, to see how important it is to have a safety programs, because they are using their experiences and ideas to reduce injuries and incidents. That's one of the 18 practices for organizational agility. So the two practices that I touched today applying to safety, because safety pretty much is going to be is being inserted to an agile organization, but for safety professionals and for vice president of operations or a vice president of continuous improvement or operational excellence, this is something that is going to be new. How are you going to incorporate safety to keep that organization agile? So first, you incorporate safety. It's not the other way. Agility to the safety, what we are doing for many years and hasn't worked. So follow this advice, sensing and sizing opportunities by developing scenarios, hazard risk assessments, and flexible resources allocations. Is you have the data, you have those action items, you have those KPIs that I mentioned in this video, and you're gonna be able to allocate those sources in an effective and efficient manner. Thank you very much, guys. I'm Edgar Fernandez, the founder of Sufficient Limited, and the creator of the Experiential Knowledge Solution. Once I finish this series of video on this agility, because it's one of the elements of Industry 4.0, I'm gonna give you the link to get, if you want to get more more knowledge of these agile organizations. Yeah, I'm gonna put it on my linking group that is called Sufficient 4.0. Thank you very much. Hopefully this advice helps you to reduce injuries and incidents. That's the main goal from Sufficient Limited. Thank you, guys. Have an excellent day. Bye.